Sometimes God doesn't isolate you to punish you. He does it to prepare you. Being alone is not always a sign of rejection. It's often a sign of elevation. You may feel like you've been hidden, forgotten, set aside. But what if the season of solitude is the very place God is forming your character, sharpening your discernment, and tuning your ears to hear His voice? In this video, we'll explore why God sometimes pulls you away from the noise and why the wilderness may be the most important chapter in your spiritual journey. Let's dive into the purpose, power, and beauty of being alone with God. Part 1. The purpose of being set apart. 1. Hidden, not rejected. It can feel like rejection. Friends drift away. Opportunities close. Your phone goes silent. But heaven may be orchestrating a season of divine isolation. God often hides those He's preparing to use. Think of Moses, exiled to the desert for 40 years. David, anointed as king, but sent back to tend sheep. Jesus, led by the Spirit into the wilderness before His public ministry. The Spirit immediately drove Him into the wilderness. Alone doesn't mean abandoned. It often means assigned. You're not being punished, you're being purified. God is setting you apart, not just from the world, but for Himself. 2. Silence as a strategy. In today's world, silence feels unnatural. We fill every quiet moment with noise, notification, or distraction. But silence is God's classroom. It's where the Spirit speaks, where the Word becomes alive, where your spirit is softened to listen. Be still and know that I am God. You can't hear His whisper over constant noise. God brings you to stillness, not to isolate you, but to intimacy. 3. The wilderness produces power. Every biblical leader had to go through a wilderness season. Joseph had a prison. Elijah had a cave. Paul had Arabia. The wilderness is where distractions are stripped away and faith is strengthened. It's where you stop depending on others and start depending on God. Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit. There is power after the silence, but the silence is part of the preparation. 4. God removes to refine. God will sometimes remove what you rely on, so you rely on Him. He will dry up resources. He will quiet the applause. He will even pull you away from people you love, not because He's cruel, but because He's jealous for your heart. I will allure her into the wilderness and speak tenderly to her. He removes what distracts so He can speak what transforms. 5. Alone is where identity is forged. You don't find your identity in a crowd. You discover it when you're alone with God. This is my Son, whom I love. With Him I am well pleased. Before Jesus healed the sick or preached a sermon, God affirmed Him in private. Your worth doesn't come from how people see you. It comes from how God sees you. And He often reveals that when no one else is watching. Part 2. What to do when God pulls you aside. 1. Don't fight the silence, lean into it. It's tempting to escape the quiet, to fill it with scrolling, binge watching, or constant activity. But if God has pulled you into a quiet place, don't run from it, rest in it. Ask Him, what are you teaching me here? What are you refining in me? What lies are you removing from my thinking? You'll be amazed at what you hear when you stop filling the air with your own voice. 2. Rebuild your altar. This is a sacred moment. It's time to rebuild what's been neglected. Consistent prayer, worship without distraction, deep scripture study. This isn't religious duty. it's relational revival. In solitude, God rekindles the fire. 3. Recognize it's temporary, but necessary. This season won't last forever, but rushing it will rob you of what it's meant to give. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete. God's timing is perfect. Stay rooted, stay teachable, stay faithful. 4. Be honest with God. You don't have to fake peace. If you're lonely, say so. If you're frustrated, tell Him. Pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge. God doesn't need your performance. He wants your presence. Let the silence become sacred. 5. Watch what He does in the hidden place. Some of the greatest transformations happen far from human eyes. Roots grow underground. Gold is refined in fire. Oil is pressed in private. Don't despise the hidden season. It's not a burial, it's a planting. And what God is doing in you now will bear fruit in due time. You're not alone. Even in your aloneness, God is with you. He sees you. He's doing something deep and eternal. Don't rush it. Don't waste it. Let Him finish what He started. Because when the time comes, He'll call you out of the wilderness, full of power, full of wisdom, full of Him. And you'll say, that season wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Be still. He's working.